Speaking of sports, you see that the XFL is back,
I did. I did see that.
and you see that they've toned it down.
Then what is the point?
They've basically realized that some of the over the top McMahonisms
Oh yeah.
of yesteryear might not fly. They decided to bring it back and just kind of make it's football after the Super Bowl. So when
You
the
wanna keep
NFL's
watching
done,
football?
yeah, we got some more for you.
You know what? That's actually a half decent idea.
And, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? So they did that. And then the
That's-
next thing they did was they introduced all their teams and they gave the teams lore,
Okay.
right? So you can go read the screenshot that has someone posted them up of just like basically the backstory of all the teams. And it's not like an actual like crazy in-depth thing. It's just really just like, oh yeah, the Vipers, they wait in the dark and they strike and this that type of thing, you know. It's flavor text
Yeah.
for your teams. But what they did maintain is the rule changes of making it more about the action and less about the boring shit and less
Sure.
about the gamifying the system in a way.
All right.
What is it? Gamesmanship versus sportsmanship.
Yeah.
So they had some rule changes that they that were there back in the day that like they're pretty much going with the same idea this time. I don't know if you saw them.
I did not.
Okay.
I saw that the XFL was coming back, and I was reminded of the phrase "throwing good money after bad"
Yeah. Okay.
because like Vince almost tanked his entire business empire trying to beat the NFL.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this time around, there's no more cheerleader halftime locker room cams, and there's no more he hate me, and there's no more O&A on the commentary on the sides.
Oh man, I don't remember any of that.
Yeah. Those were that was the legacy of the XFL. But what they did, I did actually go down the changes, and the changes in the rules are like some of those common sense things that we've I think we've talked about a couple times where you're like, yeah, that update should happen to that sport.
Yeah.
You know, when we talked about how it's like there should be a more the rules should be adjusted so that like diving and shit like that doesn't happen as
Yeah,
in
there's
soccer
a
and
there's a
basketball.
dive master that stands by the side of the stands with a hammer.
And bad calls need to have a
Yeah.
something that you can do about them. So like yeah, one of the main things they had in this case was they're like, okay, so first off, there is no there's no field goal after you score a touchdown.
Okay.
You can only go for extra points,
All right.
and you can choose 3 distances to start from the end zone. I think it's like 5, 10, and 15.
Yeah.
And each one awards you 1, 2, or 3 extra points
Okay.
if you make it.
Well, that's really smart because what they do then they can pick the kicker, right? That's what they're called.
Well, there's no kicker at that point.
Oh,
right?
there's no kicker.
there's no kicker.
Okay.
Because there's no field goal attempt.
Oh, God.
Right. There'd be a punter if you can punt, but that's a different
That's a,
different
punter's
different
a different person.
Punter's a different person.
That's
Punter's a
weird,
different
but
thing.
they both kick.
But it's a different type of kick.
That's
So the field goal is the ball is set in place. Remember, laces in, laces out.
no. What do you mean? Remember?
Ace Ventura.
That was like 30 years ago, man.
Okay, well, it was a big part of that. But anyway, so the field goal kicker has the ball in place,
All right.
right?
Yeah.
And they're kicking a ball that's set in place when it's snapped and whatever put in place there. Whereas the punter has to hold the ball themselves and then kick it
Oh, okay.
out of their hand. So it's a different kind of.
Is that their attempt to get the kicker or the punter that will just always kick it good every time?
It's just there's 2 different types of kicks required, and then either way, if you can't fucking touch them because if you do, they might die.
Hey, let me ask you a question.
And they've been hiring like
As
soccer
somebody
players.
who clearly knows more about football than me,
Okay.
why do they hire kickers that can't hit the field goal every time?
So they've been
Why
hiring.
wouldn't they just hire the good kicker that would just do it every time? They're just kicking a ball.
All right, so 2 things. One, there's literally been soccer players that have gotten jobs on football teams just doing that job.
Yeah.
If you're athletic and you can kick the ball good, then here you go, right? And then the second thing is that it's hard to consistently kick the ball.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Right? And
I bet it's not as hard as Fortnite.
Well, so here's what that literally happened the other day when someone kicked a super long field goal. I think it was like the Eagles or something last year or so. Someone missed and fucked up.
Yeah.
So there was this challenge where it's like, okay, if you think you can do it, come on out. And
Yeah.
Budweiser's going to sponsor this event. And you just saw people eat shit as they ran in the snow and tried
and
to
just, like not even kick it like.
Do you remember that?
No.
No. Okay. I thought.
Why would I remember anything to do with football?
I could have sworn we talked about it, but
No, Woolie. Just
okay.
take every football conversation you think you've had with me and just paste somebody else's face on it because I wasn't there.
Okay, so remember the time we talked about bowling and I didn't know anything about the oil in the lanes?
The oil in the lanes?
Yeah. So,
now
okay,
I don't know.
okay, remember when we talked about bowling last time and I
Yeah.
brought it up and I was like, why wouldn't muscle memory solve bowling?
Oh, just solve bowling.
Right? Why would there ever be like somebody that makes a mistake or doesn't
Yeah.
get it flawless? Because I thought that it was the same every time.
Because it's hard.
And it turns out, right? So people who know much more about bowling then let me know that it's like because every lane has a difference to it, and the oil in the lane changes.
Oh, literally the way they buff the floor, like
the
day
way
before.
exactly,
Wow.
right? So it's almost like the way a Zamboni affects the ice in
Okay.
hockey, right?
Now I understand.
Right. So we know about that.
I know about the ice sport.
We know about the ice, and the ice makes a difference on how people move, and that actually you have to.
It's always
play
goofy
different.
to me when like near the end of a fucking period where the ice is fucked up, and every now and then you'll see a guy just snag.
It's just just slip up. Yeah. So I didn't realize this, but the lanes are oiled in such a way that like after the ball is rolled multiple times, it changes.
You got to oil that lane.
And you have to compensate in different ways. So even if you have a perfect roll for that first one,
That's crazy.
you have to learn how to adjust every time after that. And then there's a slight, and that's the sport,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like chess where it's like at first, if you're just learning how to play, you're like, I'm going to move here because I think that's the smarter move. But then later it becomes about how many patterns you can memorize because the sequences are all kind of played out.
Did you see that fucking clip of that guy doing that lawn curling shit that I didn't know what the fuck it was? This guy rolling a ball and he gets a dead center. Everyone was like, "This is incredible. What sport is this? I don't care anymore."
No.
And like, there's so many weird sports out there.
Like lawn darts?
Like lawn. Jesus, did you know a kid that had lawn darts?
I did not know anyone.
I knew one kid that had lawn darts, and we played lawn darts once.
Yep.
And by once, I mean we threw it once.
You learned what
and
it
we were like
was.
8, and we were like, we're gonna stop doing
Yep.
this.
That's a smart 8-year-old.
It's astonishing that the lawn darts is so outrageously dangerous for no reason that children can discover, oh, this is such a bad idea.
We also discovered that they kept selling them with safer versions of it.
Oh,
where
fuck
It's
that.
weighted and it just lands face down.
Who cares? No, I want the dead version that I don't want to
So
play.
we found that out about bowling.
Yeah.
And then it turns out that it's like a difficult thing that it looks easy at first, but then the specifics get hard. It's exactly like that with kicking.
Yeah.
So when you kick, there's so much happening, and like the main one is the wind,
Yeah.
right?
That you can't control that in
So
Fortnite.
a fucking badass kicker
Yeah.
will know to feel the wind and
Hey.
compensate for it. What's up with Fortnite?
Oh, you don't know what I'm doing here?
I don't know what you're doing.
Oh, because Ninja a while ago went on Twitter and like after a football game I think his team lost or whatever, and was like, why the fuck do they still hire kickers that can't kick a field goal? Why don't they just hire kickers that can kick the goal every time? And then when people were like, it's fucking hard to kick the ball accurately, Ninja. It's not like if it's Fortnite. It's like Fortnite is very difficult. There are many things you have to do in Fortnite to be good.
I was wondering because I was answering your question, and I was wondering why you were just.
I did
swerving
want a
away.
legitimate answer to that question because,
Yeah.
like, I'm not familiar on the why it's hard to kick the ball, but like
That was a tweet. he
it
put
was
out.
like the absolute epitome of everyone's job is shit easy, but mine.
That's hilarious. That's really funny. Okay. So yeah,
Just click on their heads with the crafting gun.
and I want one lesson I took from that bowling thing was that like anything that seems like it should be consistently easy with muscle memory,
Yeah.
like there's something to it on a higher detail that you're not aware of.
Don't drop that combo ever.
When you're why can't you swing the same golf club every time and get the perfect hit every time, from the same place.
For somebody who has swung many golf clubs, I used to golf with my dad back in the day. Hitting the ball at all is more difficult than you would think. It's awkward. It's an awkward motion.
Oh, you see that clip of the fucking seniors tour?
I did not.
Who was it? It was I think it was the old guy that's like hilarious that we all like, the old golfer that like has an attitude.
Palmer?
Was it Palmer?
I
Might have been, but like he just like the dude. It was a seniors putting tournament, and this dude was like, it's impossible, it can't be done, whatever. And the dude's just like, you want me to fucking do it for you? And he just walks over and just grabs it, and then everyone's like, yeah. And then he just casually just boop, knocks it in, and it's like a perfect thing.
Oh, it's impossible.
And like he does it almost like nonchalantly and just tosses it back, and then fucking goes, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, as you get older, like
It was
with the golfs,
it like,
you're
fuck off.
losing some yardage on your drives, but aside from that,
yeah.
like
So all that to say that the XFL, so they did that, right? That's their extra point thing. There's no overtime. Or rather, in overtime, there's no coin toss.
okay.
Instead, you just take turns doing point conversions until someone wins.
Okay.
So it's a football shootout,
All right.
right? The kickoff return is, instead of everybody running at each other and dying, there's a wall that are 5 yards apart of the team, and then there's one kicker and one receiver, and then you kick the ball over, and then the guy gets it, and then the play starts, type of thing.
Okay.
And I think the other thing was that, like, on fourth down, usually it's super, like, no one ever goes for it unless it's almost guaranteed to get the first down, because you always want to, like, kick the ball as far back, and then, like, basically in football you have 3 downs of, like, let's try to get to the next goalpost, and if you don't, then you have a fourth down where you can either try again, and it might be really hard, and you might fuck up and have to turn the ball over on the spot, or you can kick the ball to the other team and make them catch it further back.
Okay, I'm gonna be real. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck.
They made a rule.
What the fuck is a down?
All right, let's throw that all out. Let's throw that all
All I know
out.
about football,
Yeah.
is that you one guy holds the ball,
Okay.
and he runs to the other end, and the other guys are like, "No, don't do that."
So you have a number of turns to do that before you have to
Okay.
it switches to the other team. So there's a number of turns you get.
okay, and those are
then-
downs.
Yeah, those are downs, right?
Why? Okay.
So they made a rule change where instead of being a coward
Yeah.
that tries to kick the ball further back so that the other team gets it for sure, but it's just harder for them.
Yeah.
They want you to have balls and go for the high risk maneuver.
Okay, see, that's fine. Yeah.
So they made it so that, like, yeah, it's you're less incentivized to, like, do a safe turnover to the other team.
Yeah.
And you're more incentivized to take a big ass baller risk and drop your sack on the table.
I think the XFL could have a really bright future if they instituted one new rule change. All right, get your bingo cards ready. You know what they should do?
Glad you prefaced it properly.
All right, they should no helmets, no pads,
Yeah, okay.
shorts and t-shirts.
Right, rugby?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be safer.
Yeah.
It'd be safer if they played with no pads,
Yeah.
because you will not throw yourself at the other team as hard,
Like a bullet. Yeah.
and you would actually, like, self-regulate those injuries, and you would still get fucked up, like your skin would get scuffed.
your skin get really fucked up.
Rugby
by it.
injuries happen, and
Yeah.
they're rough, but you're not getting CTE on the same level because the armor is not allowing you to throw your head at the opponent with confidence. Turns out.
Okay.
So that's not even the wildest idea.
Then give them swords.
Sure, Blood Bowl.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, you weren't as
I
wild
wasn't
as you
happy with the realistic answer that I got. It was
Turns-
actually the opposite. of
Turns
what
out
I-
it was actually sort
okay,
of sensible.
more armor. More, like way more.
Way more armor.
Yeah.
But jet propulsion.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, fuck it. No, the ball is a bomb. There, done.
So NFL blitz.
Yeah, if you
can just-
don't touch down within 4 downs, the ball explodes in the quarterback's hands.
Oh, one of the craziest rules, actually, that you just reminded me of, because
How did that remind you of a real rule?
when you said in the quarterback's hands, it reminded me of another thing they changed,
Okay.
which is And this is a much wilder one. Usually, you can only lateral the ball to the side or backwards behind the line where it first starts and then pass it.
Okay.
But now you can forward pass twice.
Okay.
So the quarterback can back up,
It's a little more
forward
aggressive.
pass to some. Yeah, so you can do some crazy shit.
Okay.
The quarterback can literally pass it to a receiver who can catch it and then pass it to another receiver.
See, it's this really goofy thing where, I mean, it's a long-standing, extremely long-standing, complicated sport with a shitzillion rules that minor rule changes can make large differences.
Mm-hmm.
But to somebody like me who is totally fucking baffled, like, I'm big struggling. Like, I remember back when they fucking changed the rink in hockey and everybody lost their fucking minds. And it was like, no, that's good. But people who didn't know shit about hockey were like, what the fuck does it matter? It's a little bigger.
I mean, I feel that sports as a whole, as someone who doesn't watch them, I commentate, of course, that the rigidity of the rules, because they've become such an institution over time, has led to nonsense like this baseball thing happening with the fucking cheating, that like it just kind of shows you that no matter, I get how expensive and big these like leagues are and everyone involved, but like for just common sense, there needs to be a regular updating of the rules.
So you know what's funny?
Because they clearly fall apart after a given amount of time.
I'm going to use this example because it's the one I'm the most familiar with. I remember for a long time when Vanilla Sagat was ruling the world in Street Fighter Vanilla.
Oh, Sagat.
SF4 Vanilla, right?
Oh, 4. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
SF4 Vanilla. When Sagat
I thought you were talking about Super Turbo.
No. It was not. But the people were like, this is a fucked up character. Come on, guys. And the answer from on high came down. We don't want to nerf or balance things too fast. We want to leave people time to figure it out and see if it's really quite fucked up. Now you slingshot many years in the future where that philosophy gets thrown in the trash by some developers. Like League balances the game so often that it is like impossible to play at a high level to some degree because the character you're training with will change mid-tournament.
Right.
Shit like that. So there's like the wild difference, right? But sports go like 50 years without a balance patch.
Yeah, it's rough. And there will be minor things in like response to controversies like they added the video replay when some bullshit dumb moments happened where it's like the referee was wrong, but there's nothing we can do about it.
Or wrong on purpose.
Yeah, well, I like one of the most egregious ones was a coin flip where the guy's like tails and the ref goes heads. It is, and it's on a mic, you know. And I was like, oh, we need cameras. We need cameras and instant.
There's
replays.
no reason not to have
That's
the
insane.
cameras.
Yeah, but
could you imagine a universe in which like top 8 before the grand finals was not videotaped, televised, or anything at a big tournament, and the only like say so that came back as to the win was like the one guy assigned
to watch
it and denote the win,
and that's it.
That would be the most crooked shit that has ever been.
And yet, yeah, that shit needs updating real quick. And you know what? Alternatively, let's just say this. Take the most dry, boring-ass sport you can think of that it needs all the rejiggering you could possibly give it.
Baseball needs some shit.
Baseball could use a lot. Cricket's not, there's a
I don't
bunch
know
out
nothing
there.
about cricket,
Well, that's
so
what
I
I'm
guess
saying.
it
Yeah,
needs
there's
some
there's a lot of out there. Hypothesis. Add summons to every sport.
Okay. I'm not gonna even. I don't even care what you mean by that. Like, any version of what you're talking about, fine, cool, whatever. That's fine.
Guardian forces.
Yeah. Strikers.
I mean, the other day we was talking about having to fight the literal versions of the mascot.
Yeah.
Well, now you summon the mascot out itself.
That's right.
It's like, is that a huddle? No, it's an incantation circle.
Oh man! Oh, Rama is coming onto the field.
Like everyone's they're huddled up and they're calling the play, and then a red light shoots out from the center of the fucking circle in the huddle.
That's a bold move, man. They can only call this one every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they need him now. And then Rama lines up on the line before the fucking hike. Yeah. So anyway, XFL, Extreme Football League.
It's a much better idea to
not as dumb as
the
you
first
think
time around. Yeah.
upon elaboration.
That being said, I can't believe. Like, I guess Vince gets the final say so and owns enough of the company, but I can't believe there weren't enough people around to be like, dude, come on.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was like, yo, Shane, this one's yours.
Yeah.
You know, or something like that. At this point, if they just straight up, either he's on it because the main show is being run by Triple H and Stephanie, or I could see him handing it off to someone else as the project.
Well, I think if I remember right, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's much more into wrestling than I am, which is not at all. And apparently, a bunch of like high up like management people over at WWE got fired to proactively appease stockholders, because the network shit is just bombing so hard and they're losing like tons of stock
Is
value.
it?
Yeah.
Whoa, I thought they were making money on it because every time I heard people refer to it, it sounded like it was a good thing.
You know, you still can't get it in this country, right?
Yes. But I've heard Americans talking great about how they love going and watching all their shit or whatever. But, oh, okay. Well, they're also on like fucking Fox and stuff now too, so, you know.
That's crazy.
There's all that. But yeah, it has been.
Sports are weird, man. All sports are weird, man.
It would be nice to imagine a world where the XFL did decently enough that the NFL had to start like reacting to it in some weird way. Because they don't. Because the CFL happens, and the NFL is like, that's cute.
It is cute. It's adorable.
Yeah, no. But it'd be funny for the XFL to start putting some sweat under a collar or two.
I don't think the NFL has anything to worry about from the XFL.
Bro, tell me these motherfuckers. Tell me. Look me in the eye and tell me that Vince himself did not sit and write a fucking note to Kaepernick.
He did. Vince is
Could you imagine the PR move?
Vince is so stupid.
Could you imagine the move to get fucking Kaepernick in the XFL?
Man.
If no one will hire him, if no one's got anything going on, and he's got an intro where he's on the ramp taking a knee as the anthem shoots off and the rocket's red flare and the fucking bombs burst
That's
in air.
absolutely a Vince McMahon
And then
move.
the F-16s fly overhead and it zooms in on the knee.
Yeah, just the knee. Get every pore.
The XFL just embraces it, dude.
Yeah, that's a yeah.
Just knee, you know the knee slide walk?
Yeah.
He does it all the way
Oh
down
my
the
God.
field. Starts doing the worm. Oh yeah,
That's terrible.
that's the Vince we know. That's the Vince we know. And the crowd like half marks out, half loses their minds.
Should we equalize the discussion about sports?
What do you mean equalize?
So we talk about sports, and then we'll talk about esports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, the fact that there's a distinction on esports as like a subcategory of sports belies it as a lower importance, not as good sports, as quote unquote sports.
Oh, are we going for our sports?
I think we should go for P sports.
P sports.
That's right.
What's a P sport?
It's a physical sport.
Not real sports?
Not real sports, but P sports.
Electronic, physical.
Electronic sports and physical sports.
P sports.
Yeah. P sports, they're here.
Equalize the discussion. I see.
It's P-sports, just like E-sports.
Okay.
See?
I can live in that world.
Oh, you're a P sportsman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a P sports commentator.
I can live in that world. The only problem, of course, is just like now the brain races to find out what other form of sports can come into existence.
M sports,
For
mind sports,
mind sports, you can definitely have mind sports.
Yeah.
Yeah, if there's a way to see ethereal, the other realm,
No,
the non-physical
O sports.
but like other sport, no, because E's already taken, so that
Yeah.
doesn't work. But you'd have
Ghost sports.
No, it's not really that either. It'd have to be like the like an alternate
Sci
reality. Like it's hard to say. But yeah, robot sports should definitely happen.
Yeah, that would be R sports.
Yeah,
Robotic
or
sports.
M sports.
And C sports would be cybernetic sports.
Okay, A sports,
A sports.
animal sports.
Animal sport. Yeah. Yeah.
Train
Every
out.
Zeba's a ref.
Yep.
That's really like a bad joke, but I don't care.
Do it. You can get the full. You can get it all going there. It's not. It definitely makes esports more legitimate.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I agree with that.
Because I'm waiting for the article that comes out that's like, the Dotas this year drew in more than the Super Bowl or whatever, right? And it's like, and see the people go crazy.
See, the problem, if anything, is that whoever invented the esports moniker did not opt for the superior moniker of Sports 2.
Ugh. That doesn't really roll off the tongue quite well. I don't like it.
Yeah, but people would be curious. They'd want to find out
Sports 2?
what's going on with Sports 2. What's happening over here? What do you mean Sports 2? It's like, yeah, this is the sequel to Sports.
I feel like the esports, like everything, will eventually lead to like, here's your champion, and it's like a brain in a jar, like a revengeance child, and like they just kind of dunk the trophy into the vat.
Not enough things in life. There aren't enough sequels to concepts.
Yeah, I agree.
People don't number the sequels to concepts enough.
Like dogs are Wolves 2.0, and all their varying expansion packs, such as Chihuahua or Great Dane.
Sure, but you could have just slapped a 2 on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because that's Wolves 2. Like dog is Wolf the sequel.
And when you're getting into like establishmentarianism, and then you have disestablishmentarianism, well, that's the opposite. But by the time you get to anti-disestablishmentarianism, you might as well just call it disestablishmentarianism too.
Yeah. Yeah, you should.
I agree.